Corona Extra. I haven't had a nice cold Corona in a while. I got this from a local restaurant called Mexi Guac. It's a Mexican establishment. They do burritos, the bowls, tacos, all that, and they also sell beer. And in Canada, you can now purchase a beer and take it home with you when you go to some places. And I asked him, hey, can you do that here? And he said, yeah. I haven't had a Corona since Toronto. And Toronto was a big trip. I went on the Greyhound. Did a tour going through Toronto, leaving with the big, where Drake performs. You pass by all that. Wow, you just don't know the sights that I got to see. But many people get to go see that. Go to Toronto if you want to do a lot of touring and see a lot of sights. Take the Greyhound bus out of Toronto. It's a great tour. The route I went on, oh, wow. It was a priceless experience, now that I remember. I think I only paid $45 or $60 for the Greyhound ticket. And it was like an unbelievable sightseeing experience when I left Toronto on the Greyhound. You're up high on the Greyhound. I was in the back of the Greyhound, so you're up real high, sort of. And big, gigantic Greyhound windows, and you're just looking down on Toronto. It's so busy out there, but you're in this big Greyhound, and you're leaving Toronto, and then you hit the highway. The Greyhound goes fast, and all that. So lucky for Greyhound, but then I learned that the Greyhound station that I went to, it's no longer the Greyhound station. They've now since changed it. And that was just a couple of years ago. I got to go to that Greyhound station. I liked where it was. I liked where that Greyhound station was. Anyways. Quebec. 10-cent consignee refund. Corona. My mom loves Corona. A lot of people. It reminds me of a lot of people. Wagner. I like it with lime and salt. Oh, me and Wagner used to go with the Coronas all the time. It was the ice cold, and it was the hot wings. We went to the bar. Ice cold Cerveza. Mucho frio the Cerveza. We used to love it. So shout out to Wagner. Me and him had many Corona moments all the way down to Florida. I never used to drink Corona in Florida. But when I come to when I come back to Canada, the age for drinking is only 19. And actually, Wagner was with me when I first started drinking back when I turned 19. That was Wagner, my amigos. We go to the LCBO. The one guy is checking me. He's saying, are you sure you want this? And I said, yes, because me and my amigos, it's not the regular they party, it's the big one they party. We go to Club 77. It was the MGK, the Machine Gun Kelly. We took the buses. I had money. I bought bottles. We had champagne. It was super dope and all that. So shout out to Wagner. But just sometimes it was the football, watching the football, eating the food. It was chilling at the casa. But it was mucho times. And the times that, it's very famous Calgary. What is it? Stampede. We've been to the Stampede many times, and you can drink while you're watching the chariot races. So we got to do that, but that was the Mucho Jack Daniels. The Mucho Jack Daniels. Learning a lot since then. That was a long time ago. No more the Jack Daniels. The Jack Daniels is too much for the sleepy. Now it's the Paquito La Cerveza Más Fina. This one is very good because I only like when it's really cold. Or mucho frio. But I don't know what these symbols are, but it's Mexican. It's a Mexican beer. Cerveza means beer in Spanish. I got to learn that in Florida because I got to live down there for a while. And I knew what beer was, and then I got to meet real Spanish people that really speak Spanish fluently. And when I got to meet those people, they taught me that cerveza is beer. And that's when I first got to experience Corona. But I got it on, it's the best when you go on the beach. They'll top it with the lime and the salt. Even put it in a, there's all different combinations. I mean, just go out to any restaurant or bar and all across the world they got them. I even used to watch that guy on YouTube. What was his name? Brandon Novak's friend or whatever. His favorite drink is a Corona, and then they put hot sauce in it. And you can do that too. Brandon Novak's friend. It's Cool Duder's. I think Cool Duder was filming it. In Arizona. No, I don't know where it was. I think it was before Cool Duder moved to wherever the hell he's at now. California. No, this was when they were traveling. Anyway, they liked that drink with the Corona and the hot sauce. Get in tune with that Brandon Novak and that, what's his friend's name that wrote the book with him? Or does the marketing. He's a big-time guy. Funny guy. I used to love these guys. Joe, I don't know what the hell his name is, but he's a character, I'll tell you. This one guy is a goddamn character. It's Brandon Novak. It's him. I found out about them. What's his name? Margera. That's how I originally found them, was through Margera. And then I got into Novak and Cool Duder and yada yada. I think that's how it went. Oh, and then what's his name's friend and all that. Yeah, but I got into all of that, and that costs money. You got to buy the whole season of Viva La Bam. You got to watch it all on YouTube. It's a good watch. That's one of the watches I watched when I was young. I seen it on MTV, and I always said, "Oh, I want to watch the whole season of it." And I did. I watched the whole season of that Viva La Bam. And you got to see his dad and his mom. But not only that, you got to see a lot of things. You got to see his uncle. And they were bigger characters, too. And that's why I related to the dad and the uncle, because they were bigger characters. The dad, I felt like, oh, I wanted to be his dad. But the uncle was hilarious. Because you want to be his dad because his dad was a big guy. He had a wife. He had a cool kid, but he was well put together, whereas the uncle was crazy. But the uncle, it was such a big family, they took care of him, and it was just a great family. It still is. But I think the uncle did, what's his name, Don Vito, I heard he passed, but I'm not sure if he did. Because you never know if it's real or not, but I think they did say he did pass. Yeah, he was one of my favorite, but one of my most notable favorite scenes is that sandwich when Bam's dad makes that sandwich. It's a gigantic submarine sandwich. He makes it in his big kitchen or whatever on the island. It's like when you're a kid and you're looking at this sandwich, you're like, I want to grow up and be that guy eating that sandwich. It's a big, gigantic sandwich. He's got expensive French bread. It's fresh. It's not expensive. Fresh French bread. So much meat and cheese. I remember when I was so hungry for meat, cold cut meat and cheese. So that one was a great one. But yeah, and they make, is the style that they make those certain sandwiches, they're hard to get with that. It's a real Italian style sandwich. I had something like it in Windsor, Ontario. And they have certain they have a lot of delicatessens. You go there and you pay, I think you don't pay much money. You can get those dang sandwiches, but it's only in certain areas. My area, we don't have that place that makes those gigantic. But I've been to one of those places. But he made it at home, and I remember when I seen it, this was before I had ever been to one of those places. I thought one of those places was only in Chicago. I knew that you could make it at home because I seen Bam's dad on Viva La Bam making it at home. So that's a great one to watch if you ever want to get into, learn what it's like being a goddamn, well, you could call them a lot of things. Actors. Some people call them mafia. Some people call them actors. Some people call them citizens or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're a family. They're a certain family. And you kind of get to understand how each role of a successful family works when you watch that one, too. It's not just hilarious jokes. What is it? And that's what those guys do, eh? A lot of those, I've had a couple American dads. They're good people.